Now then, hello, what's up guys? Welcome to another video, this time with the Corvette C8 Convertible. This is going to be another one-shot video. We're going to get straight in and drive. There's quite a lot of wind, so we're going to get straight in the car and drive. So the idea of these videos is we go full, all-natural, no cuts. Welcome to the inside of the Corvette. Beautiful interior. This one's got this two-tone leather and Alcantara interior. It's also got all of the carbon fiber options, which are really rather nice, and this slightly odd square steering wheel. So I've seen a few reviews where they complain about how this feels. This one's finished in Alcantara. I actually don't mind it at all. Apparently if you're drifting and stuff, it's not the easiest steering wheel in the world, but I haven't found myself in that situation very much. This car has been lent to me by Turismo Rent Cars. It's available for rental here, so if ever you're interested, the links will be down below, and obviously a huge thank you to them for lending this car to me. It's awesome. I've been driving around in it for 10 days, 2 weeks, something like that, and for some reason this was a car I hadn't really considered and thought of that much in the past, because you don't see that many here in Europe. So I didn't have the highest expectations in the world for no apparent reason, but it was just the way it was. And I have been absolutely adoring it. So first of all, I've been loving how kind of complete and usable this interior is. So if I just switch the car on, you hear that V8, naturally aspirated V8 come to life. All of the systems in this car are fantastic and they work. Apple CarPlay, Android Auto comes on instantly. The digital dash gives you all the information you need. You have 3 different modes for the head-up display, all of which are as equally brilliant one as the other. The sound system is really nice. Bose sound system works great, top, up or down, and just really good storage. You got the nice little cubby here with cup holders. You got another one right there in the doors, and then a huge amount of boot space because you have a boot in the back and a boot in the front. So honestly, it's awesome. Now, what's divided a few friends of mine that I've gotten into the car is this whole way the interior is just facing the driver. I really like it. I find it really nice when you're the driver. When you're the passenger, you know, it makes it a little harder to deal with certain things. Now, some of my friends don't like this little line of buttons here. I actually think it's very easy to use. Upper side is the driver, downside is the passenger. You have heated and ventilated seats, and yeah, I just find it really good. Now I'm going to put this on my head, so bear with me, and we're going to go for a little bit of a drive. Now you have 4 different driving modes technically. You have individual, you have kind of like normal mode, sport mode, where the exhaust gets a little louder, you probably just heard that, and track mode. So that means the exhaust gets even louder and it does these really nice pops. No gear selector thing here, just these buttons, which are quite nice. However, the mode selector feels a little bit, yeah, just not the best quality compared to the rest of the interior, which is a real step up for Corvette compared to previous generation cars. The interior feels like they've really stepped up their game. Apart from this little selector here and the buttons on the steering wheel for the sound and everything, these feel a little bit plasticky. The rest of the car feels great. Now I think I'm actually just going to put this up a little bit. Hopefully you can see okay there. Now, naturally aspirated V8, 490 horsepower, top down is awesome. Now, the Convertible is definitely the version of this car that I would go for, because not only can you obviously take the top down, but when the roof is up, you can put that rear window right there down and hear the V8, and the V8 sounds fantastic. Ready? Woo! I mean, that noise is awesome, and there aren't that many new cars coming out now that sound this good. There's these pops on the upshift, and the gearbox is just so good in this car. It's an 8-speed double clutch, and it's really nice and reactive. So in track mode like this, the shifts are instant. Sport mode a little bit slower, and then if you've got an automatic and normal mode, it's just really smooth and buttery, and you feel like you're just in this big American cruiser, and it's really pleasant. So coming into a hairpin now, this is one of my only downsides, I would say. So is that when you come into a hairpin like that, you can feel the weight of the car quite a bit. We interrupt today's episode to talk about the sponsor of this video, Carly Car Connected. Huge thank you to them for supporting the channel. Now this is a really simple, when you open it, there's a couple of papers, OBD scanner. So little device, here it is, that you will put in the OBD port of your car and it will connect to an app. And this is gonna become your new best friend in your car. So first of all, it'll give you all sorts of live information, your oil temps, your revs, everything that you need to know about your car once you've got it, and to help you in your daily life, whether you have a service coming up or anything like that, so you can be planned, no bad surprises with your current car. But also, if you're looking at replacing your car and you want to know about a used car, no more hidden secrets, because you can plug this in and find out if things like the mileage have been tampered with. You can also record data, so if you've been out on a particularly fun drive, you can get that information on your app. But also you can play around with a few fun gadgets, like being able to set up your warning blinkers at the speed you want them to blink at, and a few little fun gadgets like that. The link will be down below if you want more information. A huge thank you to Carly Car Connected for sponsoring this video. Let's get back to the episode. Now the brakes are brilliant, they have a really good feel, and they're just really nice to use, but the car weighs over 1,700 kilos, and for a two-seater sports car, you feel that. It does a decent job at disguising it, but there's no way you're going to completely disguise that. Sounds so good though. I mean, the acceleration's good, you don't feel the weight on acceleration. It's 0 to 60 in 3.5 seconds, but when you're braking, you really feel the weight of the car. And when you're going around the corners, it's not as agile as, say, a Porsche Boxster or a Cayman, which price-wise is about where this car's sitting, and I would put those as the kind of biggest competition of this car. Now, it's a much more kind of impressive package. It looks a lot more like a supercar, and I think it maybe has a wider breadth of abilities than those cars, because having driven it every day, it's so usable. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, all the systems are very usable, very easy to understand, very easy to kind of get the hang of. It's not low, it's nice inside, it's got a big boot, so you can use it easily, and it really becomes kind of whatever you want it to be. It can just be this big fat American cruiser with a nice little V8 grumble, or it can be, for the first time with Corvette, because traditionally they're front-engined and the interiors aren't quite as kind of fancy as this one, but now with it being mid-engined for the first time, and with a real upgrade to the interior and the kind of driving experience, you can really have these two characters of the big American cruiser, which you used to be able to have before, and now the actual proper Sunday morning, take the roof off, put it in track mode, and have a really fun drive. And that is what I think has really kind of caught my attention a lot with this car, is I was enjoying it on Tuesday morning in the rain, driving it in normal mode, and then I was enjoying it on Sunday afternoon in the sun, driving it in track mode. And I think it's awesome the way they managed to do that. It's not difficult to drive, it's quite wide, and you do have to manage that weight a bit, but I mean the overall general package of it is fantastic. I love this digital dash that they put as well. It doesn't feel as digital as some can sometimes. The seating position is pretty good. I've seen some reviews where they say you feel sat a little bit high up in the car. I'm not particularly tall, so I feel like that doesn't bother me too much. Maybe if you're really tall, your head could stick out a bit, which is kind of ironic for an American car. People are usually quite a bit bigger than in Europe. There is a little bit of wind noise if you're on the motorway with the top down, but the throttle response and the sound of that V8 is what makes this car what it is, and so full of character. Because let's say compared to a Cayman, you just get so much more back from it and so much more experience. Sorry, it's hard to talk when you've got that sound going on behind you. So through a corner like that is where you feel there could be a little bit of understeer and the weight of the car. But I have really enjoyed spending time with this thing. I think it is, I mean, I sound like I'm repeating myself, but just so complete, and by far the best Corvette I have ever driven. The Z06 version of this must be an absolute beast. I would love to get a try, but for the kind of price range these things are commanding, and they're now easy to get in Europe, you know, previously they were sometimes really hard to get in Europe, these cars, but yeah, I just think it's a fantastic thing. The carbon interior, the overall kind of way it's built and everything. I'm going to turn in here, and if there's not too much wind, I'm going to attempt to show you the outside and the boot, because they are both important points of this car. Now, the idle sound is actually really good on this. Sometimes you get these cars that sound great once you get up in the rev range, and then they don't sound good when idling, but this sounds really nice at idle. Now, I'm not a fan of the way this thing looks from the rear. I don't know about you. Can you comment down below and let me know? I think it looks a little bit chunky and really angular at the rear, but the front is much more kind of rounded off and much less kind of sharp lines and just prettier, I find. Really conveniently, because it doesn't have any lift, you've got this plastic split at the front rather than carbon, which is nice in case you ever hit the front, and because there's no lift, you may do from time to time. This may be a personal thing again, and I may be nitpicking, but I find that the 19-inch fronts and 20-inch rears just look a little bit small for the kind of sporty body size of the car. I mean, overall, don't get me wrong, I think it's an impressive looking thing, and it gets a lot of attention. Everyone thinks it's a Ferrari around here, and you get asked a lot of questions because people aren't used to seeing Corvettes. But I wouldn't say it's an absolutely stunning design. I think the rear and the front have a weird relationship, and it gets mixed up somewhere around here. And yeah, I'm not sure it's the best looking car in the world. It's not the ugliest either. However, the upside of this design is that you can get a lot of things into it, because it's got this big rear boot, which is way bigger than most kind of traditional mid-engined cars. But then also you get a kind of standard sized front. So if you compare it to an R8, which probably has an even smaller boot than this in the front and no boot in the rear, it's incomparable in terms of usability. And that kind of translates really well the whole character of this car. It looks really aggressive, but underneath it's kind of got this kind of American, relaxed, I'll take you where you want to go in a comfortable cruising way character to it. And I really like that. So yeah, this has been my one-shot quick review of the Corvette C8 convertible. Huge fan of it. If ever you want to rent this car, as I said, the links will be down below. If you enjoy these kind of one-shot review videos, I did one not too long ago with a Panamera GTS Sport Turismo. It's just a super honest review, my impressions on a certain car. I hope you enjoyed it. Always fun to do these, and I hope to see you guys very soon. Subscribe if you aren't already. It's been a really nice time with you. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.